New York Comic Con's been over for a minute, and I realize I haven't shared what I brought home from that weekend. And it's not a great haul like you'd get from shopping at Heroes. But that's because New York really isn't a shopper's paradise. I get it. You know, you're in the city. Um, it's New York, whether you're on Fifth Avenue, Madison Avenue, Times Square, the Javits Center. People are going to be spending money. You're gonna be caught up in it, and especially if if you're that single parent with your kid on the weekend. I get why things cost what they cost at New York Comic Con. It's weird though because comic fans love a deal, and we will happily scoop up everything that you have if the price is right. And I don't know why a dealer would want to travel, fly, drive, whatever, travel from wherever to New York City to the Javits Center only to bring almost everything back home with you. Why would you do that? But they do, and that's cool. And I know that if I'm not getting a deal at the con, that I can very easily find things. Generally depends on what you're looking for. Generally, find it cheaper online, or just wait for that next con. Like Heroes. Heroes is a fantastic shopping con, as we've said countless times. As is Baltimore, which, well, we haven't been in Baltimore in a while, but we'll be there next year. Hopefully, you'll join us. But um, the weekend started early once Vince got to Jason's because he handed me this, and Vince and Jason talked about this a few weeks ago. I missed out on ordering it. Vince was kind enough to give it to me when I saw him. But as far as the convention itself, I'm always happy to what I like about New York Comic Con is that it's our chance for, well, aside from the three of us to get together and hang out. We're catching up with creators that we don't get to see that often. Uh, Friends, whether they're listeners of the show, whether they're friends we've known before the podcast. Um, but it's a great con to catch up with people. And I got to see Ryan Brown, who this is an unmolested coaster. This is a molested coaster. So Ryan was drawing, defacing coasters from the Lampwick, which was the bar from 8 Billion Genies, their previous book. Ryan and Charles Sewell are there to promote Lucky Devils, which will be coming out starting in January, and it looks like a fun time. We read the preview issue, the first issue. It was wild, a lot of fun, quirky. Ryan's art is, of course, in my opinion, the star of the show. Um, I have been a fan of Department of Truth since the first issue was announced. It's a great series, especially if you enjoy conspiracy theories, not partaking in them, but enjoy watching them from a distance. And that's what I love about Department of Truth. It's about a government agency or a department within the government that deals with conspiracy theories. The first arc was about the flat Earth, and if you're going to mock flat earthers, I am there. I loved the first arc, and since then we've had uh, the satanic rituals in schools or crisis actors for mass shootings, um, Bigfoot and the whole cryptozoology genre. It's a great book. James and Martin do a fantastic job. It was on hiatus for about a year. It came back a few months ago, and it's been rocking since. Um, there is a massive collection of the first, I think, 2 dozen issues, and then and there's a new book that I have to get that Vince talked about recently. It's a hardcover. It's like a field notes type book, but it wasn't part of the regular series, so I have to find that. But ever since the first issue, there was a pin in the back that you could order, and I have wanted this pin since the first issue, and I just never got around to ordering it. I never thought to go to the website, place the order. I've got a weird thing about shipping, and depending on the price of shipping and why it would come out to almost as much as the product. I'm weird like that. It's a me thing. Don't sweat it. But I was giddy when I saw this pin available at the Tiny Onion booth, and now I own it, and now I have it, and I can't wait for the weather to get cooler so I can put this on a jacket and proudly let my geek flag fly. Everything you bought, all the collectibles from James's table, came with this dreadful verification. Get your own little certificate announcing that you purchased it over the weekend at New York Comic Con. This was great. And Vince also bought the pin, which I was so happy to see. But Vince also bought this newspaper. This is the first issue of the Tiny Onion Presents, and now I have it. And if James wants to come out with a newspaper, I will gladly subscribe to it. There was one dealer who had some decent deals on back issues. Decent in the sense that they were priced accordingly, marked up a little bit, and then half off as a show special. So it was one of those things. But I did find the 4-issue Scene of the Crime miniseries from Vertigo from 1999. This is by Ed Brubaker and Michael Lark with inks by Sean Phillips. Ed is a fantastic writer. Crime, mystery, thrillers, the whole the superhero stuff with Captain America, because Ed Brubaker is, of course, the person who brought Bucky back, the Winter Soldier. Bucky Barnes was dead for decades, and it wasn't until Ed Brubaker decided to bring the character back, which, of course, we've seen Bucky and Winter Soldier in the Marvel comics, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Ed's a fantastic writer. Whether it's Criminal, whether it's Reckless, Reckless is just an amazing series. Whether it's, like Night Fever and Where the Body, there's just been, Ed's a fantastic writer. Look up Ed Brubaker if you enjoy just well-written stories, beautifully illustrated, because Ed has a talent to work with some fantastic artists. He really picks his creative teams, his co-creators, very well. Puke Force by Brian Chippendale. I bought this at Vince's urging. This is definitely not something for everyone. This was fine. I found this. There's one dealer who is at New York Comic Con and also Heroes, who will have some great deals on some books. Like this one, for example. This was an $8 show special. But he'll have another book that, like, cover price is $29.99, and the sticker on the back says $27.99. And then $2 isn't a deal for me. Sorry. If I can standing in your booth and fire up cheap graphic novels on my phone and find it for almost half price, I just have to wait a couple days. Why would I leave your booth with this book? But they also had Wicca, which is a book that has been talked about fondly by pretty much everybody on our Slack. All the listeners that have read this have enjoyed it. So I am really looking forward to it. It is beautifully illustrated. It was published by Titan. It is written by Thomas Day and beautifully illustrated by Olivier Ledoux. Probably screwed that up, but yeah, Wicca. I can't wait to dig into it. There's one book I did buy at full price, and there's a reason for that, and that is because it is autographed by the author. I picked up Final Cut, which Vince and Jason talked about before New York Comic Con. I said if I could find it there, I will leave with it. Figuring I'd leave with it. Finding it at a discount if I could, being brand new, or I'd just order it after the con. But since they had it, and since it had a book plate that was signed, it was a no-brainer. And it came with this cool tote. Thank you, Pantheon. So yeah, that is my New York Comic Con haul. Thanks for watching. I know I still have videos to post. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. So, and I also left with, I finally scored this. Got it on the last day I could try to get it. And it's from A Hero Within. It's a voted pin in the Star Trek Delta.